So recently in the band builder community, a couple of my members were talking about the results of their Spotify Discovery Mode campaigns. They were posting them in there and asking, if they were good or how to analyze them. And a light bulb went off. I thought, I've got access to tons of Spotify for Artists accounts. So most of you only have access to your own Spotify for Artists account, but I have what's called Spotify Teams, and that gives me access to tons and tons of artists' analytics. I also have access to campaigns, and I could see that my artists had done over 50 Spotify Discovery Mode campaigns. So I thought, here's a moment where I can help. I wanted to analyze all of those campaigns and then share the results with you. Now, the accounts I have access to range from artists with only 1,000 monthly listeners all the way to 1 million monthly listeners. And it's all genres like pop, rock, kids, electronic music. So there's something you can learn from all of these campaigns. It's not just a small sample size. It's also artists who have just been testing the program out for 1 month or 2 months and going as far back as May of 2022. So I wanted to share this with all of you that are either curious or maybe you've done Discovery Mode and wondering about your own results. You want to know like how many songs to put in or what do all the analytics mean and just any of the things that I learned. So we're going to get into it in this video. Now, if you don't know what Spotify Discovery Mode is, watch this video up here. I'm going to give you the unvarnished truth about what is Spotify Discovery Mode and how should I use it. Okay, so here are my observations and takeaways from over 50 campaigns. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I learned was that putting 2 to 5 songs in Discovery Mode is the sweet spot. Once you're in the program, not all of your songs are eligible. There's a certain criteria, but if you can do between 2 and 5, that's what I recommend. When I looked at the artists that put in like 5 songs or more, some put as much as 25 songs in, the best results came in the top 5. And I mean like the most streams, the most saves, the most playlist ads, those type of things. Putting more songs in the program doesn't necessarily mean more streams. Unless you're talking about like 1 or 2 songs, if you put 3 to 5, you're probably going to get more streams, but not in all cases. So if you put 5 songs in 1 month and then put 12 songs in the next month to get more streams, you're not going to get more streams most likely. It's just going to spread those streams out more thinly throughout the 12 songs. So there's one artist that's been doing the program about 6 months, and they started by putting like 3 or 4 or 5 tracks in every month, and it was going pretty well. But what they did was they tested different songs, and they narrowed it down to the 2 best performing songs. And once they did that, they actually got more streams, better saves, better performance on all of it. So they narrowed it down to the 2 best songs, and actually that was the best results from any of the campaigns they got. So I'd probably put between 3 and 5 songs a month in. Keep doing that and changing them up a little bit. Keep the really good ones in, but test new ones to see if they, rise above the best songs. And then do that month to month. And pretty soon you're going to see, the dust will start to settle and you're going to identify the 2 songs that do the best for you. Or maybe it's going to be 3 songs that do really well for you. And then, so that's what I'm saying, kind of want to narrow it down to the best ones. I think this is Spotify's way of saying, don't make us push the bad stuff. They want to make sure that they're showing their users the best music. Ultimately, there won't be any surprises. Your top 2 or 3 songs are going to perform the best in Discovery Mode. You can almost guess before even starting Discovery Mode, based on which songs are always most popular in your popular section or your radio algorithm, My Daily Mix, Discover Weekly, those type of things. Whichever ones are showing up in there are most likely going to do well in Discovery Mode. Use Discovery Mode to test or experiment with new songs or songs you think should do well in autoplay or the radio algorithm. Maybe that track you thought got passed over by the algorithm or by fans or didn't get a good push when you released it. Maybe it's a way to tell for sure if you were right or wrong about it. Find out where your newest song fits in, or find out where your number 3 or your number 4 top song is. That might not be as clear, but by testing new songs every month, you should get a good idea. This is helpful for artists that have a really large catalog of songs, 20, 30, 40 songs. Ultimately, you're trying to show fans your best songs historically using Discovery Mode and the autoplay and radio algorithm, and then hook them in. If you put the same songs in every month, you won't get different results. So, test a bunch of things out, experiment to find out what your best 2 or 3 songs are, and then just go with those and take the others out. The level of streams you earn from Discovery Mode every month is relative to how many monthly listeners you have when you enter the program. On average, I say it's about a 15 to 20% lift. Metrics to measure results by. So each month after your campaign finishes, you get a monthly report. And when you click into these, it gives you some pretty good data. Intent rate. Yes, this correlates, but I haven't really found any surprises. It's the same songs that do well in the popular section and in your radio algorithmic playlist. It does support evidence that your less popular tracks are not grabbing people. One observation about intent rate is that for more passive genres like neoclassical, chill, children's music, acoustic, the intent rate is lower. For more radio format, shorter songs, the intent rate is higher. This goes for playlist adds and saves as well. So a 1 to 3% intent rate would be good for an active genre, but for passive genres, 0.20% to 1% would be normal. Over 1% would be great. Playlist adds and saves. The data supports that the more popular songs you have, the more they get. It's cut and dry. Also, like I mentioned, active genres versus passive genres have a big difference here. Stream lift. This is since you put the song into the Discovery Mode program. Initially, all songs will get a lift, but beyond your top 5, there are diminishing results in the following months. So don't expect much of a stream lift beyond your top 5 songs. It lifts the best songs. Maybe you just became eligible for Discovery Mode, or you're looking to get into it. These tips are for you. You need about 10 to 20,000 streams a month for a couple months in a row to become eligible for Discovery Mode. And some of those streams have to come from the radio algorithm or autoplay. If you're getting 10,000 streams a month or more, mostly from listener playlists, but it's not coming from algorithm play, you're probably not going to be eligible. Certainly if you're using bots or artificial streaming, that will disqualify you from Discovery Mode. Another thing to know when you first become eligible for the program, you most likely won't have a lot of monthly listeners. And I think that the level of streaming you get from the Discovery Mode program will be based on what you start with. So don't expect huge results at first. It's still worth doing, but I see greater results when you've had many months of 20,000 listeners or more. So what happens if you stop the program for a couple months and then reactivate it? I've actually seen this. It's a small sample size, but the 2 artists I saw it on didn't come back as strong. My final takeaway, the program pays off right away. After reviewing the results for over 50 campaigns, I can say I didn't see one campaign that failed. They all helped, they all made the artist more money. I don't think Spotify can afford to have a bad PR campaign on this. All it takes is a few artists to complain that this Discovery Mode didn't work for them or it didn't make them more money. If that comes out, the program's dead. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the Discovery Mode program or if you have any questions. Also, please check out my other videos. I've got lots of tips on Spotify and everything music marketing. Also, don't forget to check out my website, bandbuilderacademy.com, and I hope to see you on the inside.